Step 2 of the REM2 model has us adding a rectangle to this disk shape that we have so far. So we're going to start a 2D sketch, and then I'm going to single click right here on the front of this cylinder. So we're back into a sketch, and you'll notice over here in the feature tree, extrusion 1 is listed. That's where we created that circle. And then down here we have sketch 2. That's our current active sketch, and that's all that should be listed over there. Before we sketch anything, when we add a new sketch to a solid model, we always have to hit project geometry. So I'm clicking right on the top of that button. And then right inside the circle, it's very important that you single click, just one click. If you happen to double click, you're going to get a pop-up error message that you're going to have to hit cancel. If you accept it, your object is going to be outlined in pink, and that would be incorrect. So just single click inside of there, then hit escape. And we are ready to draw a rectangle. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So to zoom out on your Chromebook, you're going to have to use your trackpad and these navigation tools over here. If these are not showing up, you can find them in your view menu and then go to user interface, and it's called your navigation bar. You want to make sure that that is showing up. So I'm going to go back to my sketch menu. So what we should be able to do with this navigation bar is click this little drop down arrow below the magnifying glass and choose zoom. When you choose zoom, you should then be able to just click and hold on your trackpad and then move your finger up and down to zoom in and out like you would if you were holding a left mouse click and then moving the mouse. So we should be able to zoom that way. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more here so I can see the entire circle. Okay, now we're going to choose our rectangle tool, and we're going to draw a big rectangle around this circle. So I'm going to start up here in the upper left-hand quadrant, single click, drag down and to the right, single click, and then hit escape. It really doesn't matter how big the rectangle is at this point, as long as the circle fits inside of it. So at this point, what we want to do is make our rectangle tangent to our circle on 3 sides. So we're going to go up to the general constraint tool cluster. It's right next to the general dimension button, and there's a tangent button there in the lower left-hand corner of that cluster of tools. So I'm going to go ahead and select the tangent. Then I'm going to single click on the left edge of my rectangle, and then I'm going to single click on the edge of my circle, and it will snap those two together so they are now tangent, or they come together and meet at exactly one point. I'm going to do the same thing with the top edge. So I'm going to single click on the top edge of my rectangle, and I'm going to single click on the edge of the circle. Now those are tangent, and then the same thing with the right edge. Click and click. So now those 3 edges are tangent, but I do not want the bottom edge of my rectangle to be tangent. So to create this new shape or profile, we need to trim some corners off. So I'm going to choose the trim button and then single click on a few edges to trim them off. By doing this, it keeps the bottom half of our rectangle, and it's now joined because that tangent constraint is joined to the circle shape that we had there. So now we just need to add a dimension to determine how tall is our shape going to be. So I'm going to choose the general dimension tool, and then this dimension is actually going to go right there to the origin, which is in the middle of our circle. So I'm going to single click on that origin, single click on the bottom of the rectangle, pull that dimension out, click it into place, and that's going to be 8. So we have our new profile. So I'm going to hit Finish Sketch, hit my Home View button, and now I need to extrude that new profile. So I'm going to click Extrude, I'm going to single click inside our new profile there to choose that. There's our preview. I'm going to flip it toward the back to extrude the other direction and change that dimension from 1 inch to 2 inches. Click OK. And now all that's left is to update our changes. So we're going to just hit the save button up the top. No need to hit save as. Save one time, and that concludes step number 2.